in the month of November, and this will be your half-yearly examination. Okay, the half-yearly examination, and this time the examination will be of 50 marks. The thing is that about the syllabus, that what we have decided that syllabus from both the books that so far I heard that from Flamingo, almost all the chapters have been completed, and from these vistas we are still going with on the face of it. We are having another chapter left after it. So I will discuss about the syllabus. It's better in our next class. I will just put the syllabus in the chat box. I feel it would be better because people are very busy. The students, they do not regularly join the class, but I feel if I give it in the chat box as I did in that PT1 examination, it would be helpful to all of you. That is why in my next class I will give the syllabus, and the pattern will be the same, that is MCQ. Question will be there, and against each question there will be 4 options. So the date and the schedule, everything will be intimated to you through your Skype group and also in your website. So let's hope it's going to be a nice exam. I feel that first one was also a great one, and this one also will be a great examination, because I don't feel that MCQ is going to be very tough if you really prepare it well. Prepare it in the sense that you will have to remember the text very minutely, read the text minutely. That's the only way to prepare for MCQ. We are having also the sample question. I feel you have already downloaded it. Yes, result very soon. You will get the result very soon. You will get the result of that part PT1 examination. It will be intimated, I feel, over phone. It will be intimated to all the candidates, all the students, at how much you have scored for the first exam. And very soon it will be also, before that that examination, you will be intimated. Okay. And what I was telling, that yes, minute reading of the text will only give all of you the best preparation for MCQ. What I was telling, that have you downloaded the sample question from cbseacademics.nic.in? You will get the sample question for 2020-2021 examination session. Means the examination that board examination that you all will appear. CBSE has already published the sample question paper. So we will discuss also about the sample question paper, but let us complete this chapter that is at our hand. So we were discussing about, we had started it before vacation, and still we are continuing with on the face of it. So I feel that you are having strong memory, and you people have not forgotten that what we are discussing about. Still, to make it easier for all of you, I just want to tell that what we are discussing so far, that we know in that story on the face of it, it's a really a psychological boost for each and every one. And we see that 2 characters here, Mr. Lamb and Jerry. Jerry is 14 years old boy, Mr. Lamb is an old person, and actually both of them is having a similarity, that both of them are they suffer from deformities, means they are differently able, handicapped. Jerry is having one side of his face has been burned by acid, and Mr. Lamb, the original leg, one of his leg has been blown up, and he is having a tin leg. So these are the similarities. Dissimilarities is that Jerry is having out and out negative outlook towards life. On the other hand, Mr. Lamb is having very positive outlook towards life, and Jerry has come to Mr. Lamb's garden, and they had started the conversation, and Mr. Lamb always tried to take Jerry out from that cocoon of his negative thinking, from the negative thinking. That is that the story all about that we are discussing. Now today we are going to start from page number 61. Page number 61. The last speech is left. Last speech of Mr. Lamb is left. So let us start. Before that, a conversation was going on, and Derry was trying to convince Mr. Lamb that why he always wants to lead his life in total seclusion, why he does not come out of his room. And actually Derry always feels that whenever he comes out, whenever he comes in the contact of other people, the other people always look at his face, and they become very scared, and they discuss about his face, and they criticize his ugly face. That Derry does not actually tolerate, and that is the reason that he does not want to come out of his room and always wants to lead his life away from the mainstream of society. That actually Derry wants to convince to Mr. Lamb. Now here the last speech there, that last speech of Derry, that here, that I don't like being near people when they stare, when I see them being afraid of me. And this is the last speech that we completed before Puja vacation. So so let us resume from where we left before vacation. So let's start. This is the last dialogue of page number 61, where from we are starting today. Now Mr. Lamb, and now Derry told the reason that why he always wants to stay away from human society, and why he doesn't want to come to the contact of people. At this, Mr. Lamb told, you could lock yourself up in a room and never leave it. Mr. Lamb told, you can actually, this is ironical, we will find it, this story, Mr. Lamb is telling a story to Derry, that if he wants to lead a life away from the mainstream of society, then you could lock yourself in a room. This was, and then Mr. Lamb was telling a story. There was a man who did that. Mr. Lamb was telling to Derry that there was a man who always wants to lead a life away from human being, as you like, and he was afraid, you see, of everything. Mr. Lamb is telling the story that he was afraid of everything. That man, that Mr. Lamb is telling the story of a particular man to Derry, because Derry also wants to lead his life away from the people. He wants his life to lead being confined in a room and not coming out of that room. Here Mr. Lamb is telling the story about a man who also used to confine himself in a room. Here he told that there was a man who did that. That means that man also actually wanted to lead his life being confined into a room. He was afraid of everything. You see, everything. The man was afraid of everything. Everything in this world. A bus might run him over, or a man might breathe deadly germs onto him. This is very much relevant to our present time, isn't it? Or a donkey might kick him to death, or lightning might strike him down, or he might love a girl and the girl would leave him, and he might sleep on a banana skin and fall, and people who saw him would lop their heads off. So he went into this room and locked the door and got into his bed and stayed there. So here Mr. Lamb told Derry that like you, there was a person who always was afraid of everything. And what are these everything? That he was afraid that if he comes out, he might be run over by a bus, or he might be infected by a deadly disease, deadly germs, or he might be kicked by a donkey. He might fall by sleeping on a banana skin and all these. So the man was very much scared of each and everything. Or he might die out of lightning. So the man was very much scared of, and actually to lead his life, he just locked him up in a room and always stayed there. The man never comes out of his room. Then what happened? Derry, forever? Derry was asking forever. For a while, Mr. Lamb told, no, for a while. For a while means when he thought that he wanted to stay inside that room. He stayed and locked him up in a room. Then what? Jerry was very interesting. Jerry was very interested to listen to the story, because the man's situation really resembled with his situation. He also wanted to lock himself up inside the room, and he did not want to come out of the room and to mix with other people. And that is why Jerry was very much interested to listen. Then what? Mr. Lamb, a picture fell off the wall onto his head and killed him. And Mr. Lamb told a picture that was hanging on the wall, that picture had fallen, and it had fallen on his head. The man was probably the man was lying on the bed, and the picture had fallen on his head and killed the man. So Jerry laughs a lot, and it's a funny story to Jerry, and Jerry laughs a lot. Actually, Mr. Lamb wants to give us a suggestion, wants to give a lesson through that story. That really he wanted to tell to Jerry that if you really want to escape from your life, from that mainstream of society, you actually can't live in your life. So you always want to, you should not bother about what has happened to you. You must come out. You must not be scared of life. If you are very much scared of everything in your life, then it's not a life at all. You must try to enjoy it. You must try to live your life as it comes to you. You must not think various things, about his life. What would happen if I go out? This will happen, that will happen. They will see my face. They will laugh at my face. They will criticize my face. Don't try to, think all these things at a time. This will make much more complex. This will make your life more complex. And just like that man was scared of everything. The man stayed inside the room, and he was killed. Actually, this is a suggestion, the lesson that Mr. Lamb wants to tell to Jerry. Now, Mr. Lamb, you see, Jerry, but you still say peculiar things. I told previously that why Jerry thinks that Mr. Lamb tells peculiar thing, because Jerry was 14 years old, and he met with Mr. Lamb. Before Mr. Lamb, nobody had told such things to Jerry. Mr. Lamb, from the very outset of that story, Mr. Lamb always tried to encourage Jerry, always tried to inject the positivity into him. Nobody, apart from Mr. Lamb, nobody had done it to Jerry, and that is why all what Mr. Lamb tells, it appears to be peculiar to Jerry. Now, Mr. Lamb, peculiar to some. Mr. Lamb is telling, yes, what I tell sometimes appear peculiar to some. Now, Jerry, now what do you do all the day? Now, see, Jerry, just remember, when Jerry comes first for the garden, he was in a hurry to go. But now, Jerry was interested to know more and more about Mr. Lamb. It means, as Mr. Lamb was trying to encourage him, it really was working. Now, Jerry asked Mr. Lamb that what do you do all day? Mr. Lamb, sit in the sun, read books. You thought it was an empty house, but inside it's full, books and other things, full. Now, Mr. Lamb told that this is the way that I lead my life. I sit in the garden, I just enjoy the sunlight, and I read books. And then he told Jerry that, what do you feel that my house is empty? No, it's full with books. Lots of things are there. Jerry, but there aren't any curtains at the windows. There aren't any curtains at the windows. But Jerry asked this to Mr. Lamb, that you are having a large house, but there is no curtain in the window. Now, Mr. Lamb, I'm not fond of curtains, shutting things out, shutting things in. I like the light and the darkness and the windows open to hear the wind. Now, this is also a very good trait or characteristics of Mr. Lamb's character. Now, what Mr. Lamb told, I am not fond of curtains. Why? Why Mr. Lamb does not want curtain, or does not like to have curtain on the windows, or yes, curtain on the windows. Now, shutting things out, shutting things in means Mr. Lamb wants to tell to Jerry, I don't have any curtains on the windows because I don't want to hide something, or also I don't want to show it something. It means he always leads his life as it comes to him. Mr. Lamb never tries to change it. Mr. Lamb never bothers that what would happen if it happens, what would be the result of that thing. He never bothers about. And this is the characteristics that from that taste, this is the taste of Mr. Lamb, that he doesn't have any curtain of his window over his windows of his house. And he told that I don't like to things to hide the things, or to something to show some things, actually I like both brightness, I like sunlight and darkness also, but I don't like darkness in the time of sunlight. When sunlight is outside, I don't want to make it dark. It means I am having a very straightforward lifestyle. I don't want to change it. I always like to enjoy life. I always like to lead life as it comes to me. That is Mr. Lamb. And that is why, because he is having a thin leg. But he doesn't bother about that. We have already discussed earlier. He doesn't bother about that he is having a thin leg, or what other people thinks about it. Other people think about his thin leg. He doesn't bother about. And that is the reason that he told. Now Jerry, yes, I like that. When it's raining, I like to hear on the roof. Now Mr. Lamb also told, I like here that, and windows open to hear the wind. Mr. Lamb told, I also like I also like to hear the rustling sound of the wind. Now Daddy told, yes, I like that. Daddy told, yes, I also like that. And I also, when it rains and when the raindrops falls on that roof, I enjoy the patting sound of the rain, falling on that roof. Mr. Lamb, so you are not lost, are you? Not altogether. So when Daddy told that I also enjoy the sound of the raindrops falling on the roof, at this Mr. Lamb told, so you are not lost, means Mr. Lamb wants to tell, oh, you are not engrossed with all the thinking, all your negative thinking. You are not altogether, means you are having some positive thinking also. You are having some other thinking apart from your burnt face. That's good. That Mr. Lamb wants to tell to Jerry. You do hear things, you listen. You hear things, you listen, means you are not all the time engrossed with. You are not all the time busy thinking about your burnt face. You are having some other thinking as well. That's good. That Mr. Lamb told to Jerry. Now Jerry, they talk about me downstairs. Here they means his parents. Now Jerry told Mr. Lamb what his parents talk about him. They talk about me downstairs. When I am not there, what he will do, what he will ever do, what's going to happen to him when we have gone, however he get on this world, looking like that, with that on his face. That's what they say. Actually, Daddy had overheard, that's his parents, Daddy had overheard the conversation of his parents. That they converse, his parents are very much worried. His parents actually converse that what Daddy would do when they would not be there, means after their death, how Daddy would lead his life. He is having a burnt face. What would be in his future? How he would lead his life? Who would look after him? He had overheard that his parents had discussed about. So, if we know that Daddy is out and out a negative character, but if somebody or a few people who are to be blamed that why Daddy is having so much negative thinking, we should give blame to his parents as well, because he had overheard. If parents are discussing about that what our child will do when after our death and how he would get on that, how would lead his life, then obviously the child must be negative minded. Here it had happened to Jerry as well. So if somebody or a few people, if we need to be blamed for having a negative thinking for Jerry, it obviously his parents, that his parents had discussed about that what he would do after our death, how he would lead his life after our death, having a burnt face. Jerry had heard it, and that is the reason that Jerry is having out and out negative attitude towards life. And that's why they say, and Daddy was telling this to Mr. Lamb. Now, Mr. Lamb, this is, see how encourages this speech is. Lord, boy, you have got 2 arms, 2 legs and eyes and ears. You have got a tongue and a brain. You will get on the way you want like all the rest. And if you choose and set your mind to, you could get on better than all the rest. Probably this is the most encouraging lines told by Mr. Lamb to Derry. What Mr. Lamb told to Derry. Now, what Mr. Lamb was doing, his parents should do that to encourage their child. But unfortunately, his parents did the opposite. Here, Mr. Lamb was encouraging Derry in such a way that, see, you are having 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, you are having tongue and brain, means you can speak and you can think. So, if you set your mind, then you can lead a very good life. Not only that, if you want and if you motivate yourself, then you could get on better than all the rest. You can have a better life than the other common people. So it depends on you that how you choose it. You are having everything. You are having brain, you are having tongue, you are having leg, you are having eyes, everything. You are having hands. So what had happened if one side of his face has been burned? It doesn't mean that your life has already been spoiled. You just think, and if you choose it, if you really like to lead his life smoothly, if you like to lead your life, if you really like to enjoy your life, then you can do it. What's the problem with burnt face? Doesn't mean that burnt face doesn't mean that your life has been spoiled. Mr. Lamb encouraged Derry in such a way. This is not only this is not only a great encouraging speech to Derry, but it might be an encouraging speech to all as well. Each and everybody in the world, each and everybody, they are having their own difficulties. But still, if you always think about your own difficulties, then you can't get it out. Don't bother about everything what is happening. If Derry's face has been burned, so Derry's had no hand to do it. Okay, Derry's has nothing to do. So why he should bother about all these things? Same as in our life. Few difficulties. Everybody is having the difficulties in life. So if you always bother about the difficulties, I am having difficulties, I am having complexities, I can't get over these complexities, then we can't enjoy life at all. Yes, difficulties are there, complexities will be there, but we should have a very positive attitude towards life. We must not bother about each and everything. Yes, we should always try to lead the life as it comes to us. That is the way that we should enjoy. Or we should lead a life, lead a life means we should have some enjoyment in life. We are living, we are just breathing. This is not life at all. This is not the light at all. So here, Mr. Lamb encouraged Derry with such a speech, and I told that we should also drag the encouragement from the speech of Mr. Lamb as well. That Mr. Lamb wanted to encourage Derry, but we also want to be encouraged by all these things. Yes, hardship will be there, complexities will be there, problem will be there. It was there, it will be there, it is there, but it doesn't mean that nothing would happen in our life. Now Derry told how. Derry was interested. When Mr. Lamb told that if you choose, you can lead your life smoothly. Even if you choose, you can have a better life than the common people. You are, person with deformities, your burnt face, But if you choose, you can have a better life than the common people. Now Derry, how? Mr. Lamb, same way as I do. This is important. Same way as I do. So here, Mr. Lamb, I told since the beginning of that story that he is having so much positive attitude towards life. He is out and out optimistic, and he told this to Derry, that same way as I do. Now Derry, do you have any friends? Derry is getting more and more interested towards Mr. Lamb. The way Mr. Lamb is speaking. Do you have any friends? Mr. Lamb, hundreds. Mr. Lamb told, yes, hundreds of friends. Now, Jerry, but you live by yourself in that house. It's a big house too. Jerry told, but you live here alone. It's a big house. You're telling you are having hundreds of friends, but you live here alone. Mr. Lamb, friends everywhere. Lamb told, yes, friends everywhere. People come in, everybody knows me. Mr. Lamb is telling, yes, I have friendship with everybody. People comes in and everybody knows me. The gate is always open. They come and sit here, and in front of the fire in winter time they come, they make a fire, and sit in front of the fire. They gossip with Mr. Lamb, and the more important thing, the gate of the garden is always open. So everybody is welcome into the garden, and everybody knows Mr. Lamb, and that's why Mr. Lamb told, they are my friend. Kids come for apple and pears and for toffee. I make toffee with honey. Anybody comes. So have you? Mr. Lamb told, yes, this is my life. That children come for toffee. This might be a MCQ. That why do you think the children come to Mr. Lamb's garden and not for crab apple? Not only for crab apple, it's for toffee, for apples, pears, and toffee. I make toffee with honey. This might be a MCQ also. How does Mr. Lamb make toffee with honey? Anybody comes, so have you. As you have come, so anybody comes. Jerry, but I'm not a friend. Jerry is telling, but yes, you're telling that everybody comes to your house, and you told that everybody is your friend, but I have come like the other people, but I'm not your friend. Mr. Lamb, certainly you are. Certainly, Mr. Lamb told, yes, you are my friend. So far as I'm concerned, Mr. Lamb is telling, yes, so far I know, so far as I'm concerned, you are my friend. What have you done to make me think you are not? Then Mr. Lamb asked this to Jerry. Why you are thinking that you are not my friend? Why you are thinking you are not my friend? Now, Jerry, you don't know me. You don't know where I come from or even what my name is. Jerry told, how I could be your friend. You don't know where from I come. You even don't know my name. So, how I would be your friend? Mr. Lamb, what that Mr. Lamb told. Now, what should that signify? Mr. Lamb told, what's the importance of all these things? Do I have to write all your particulars down and put them in a filling box before you can be a friend? Mr. Lamb told, oh, is these things important? Do I have to fill up the form with all your particulars? What's your name, where from you come, what do you like, what do you dislike? So, and then I should fill it in a box, and then I should make a friendship with you. So what does it important? If I don't know your name, if I don't know where from you come, it doesn't signify that I can't make friendship with you. Then Mr. Lamb told to Jerry. Now, Jerry, I suppose not. No. Jerry told no. I suppose not. No, miss, no, that is actually, Jerry told, no, this is not the thing that I am telling to you. Now, Mr. Lamb, you could tell me your name if you choose. Mr. Lamb told to Jerry, if you wish, then you can tell me your name, and not if you don't. And if you don't want to tell me your name, you can't. You don't want to tell. If you want, you may tell me your name. Jerry, it's Derek, but I hate that. Jerry told, Jerry, it's only Derek, but I hate that. Jerry, if I am your friend, you don't have to be mine. I chose that. Jerry told, yes, my name is Jerry. It's Derek, though I hate the name Derek. And Jerry told, yes, if you think that I am your friend, but there is no mean that you will be my friend also. Now, Mr. Lamb, certainly, Mr. Lamb told, yes, that's true. That's very true. If I think you as my friend, you may not think me as your friend. Now, Jerry, I might never come here again. You might never see me again, and then I couldn't still be a friend. Then Jerry told, probably I will not come to your garden. You may not see me again after this meeting. Then how we could be friends? We must not be friends then? Mr. Lamb, why not? Now, Jerry, how could I? Jerry is telling, how could I? You pass people in the street and you might even speak to them, but you never see them again. It doesn't mean they are friends. This is a good point. Terry told you, okay, if you go to the street, you can come across lots of people. You may not meet with them the second time. You may not remember their face. You don't know their name. It means that they are all your friends. They are not all your friends. Doesn't mean they are enemies either, does it? Mr. Lamb told, okay. I agree with your point that people that we come across, unknown people, we may not see them again. So they are not my friend, but in the same way, they are not my enemy as well. No, they are just nothing people. That's all. Denny told, no, they are not enemy. Denny actually doesn't agree with Mr. Lamb. Denny told, okay, they are just nothing people. That's all. So today, up to that's all. Today also that's all. It's time up. I feel you have understood. In our next class, again we will resume. We will continue from where we are leaving it today. It's time up. The class was scheduled up to 2:20. It's already 2:20. And thank you very much for joining my class. And as I told, in my next class, I will definitely tell you about the syllabus for your upcoming half-yearly examination. So thank you and bye-bye.